good morning. Hope you're well. Thank you very much for the last check-in on the Empower. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the process. I know that you said that you have and that you're actually really happy with the progression that you've made. Like we say, around about 5 kilos worth of loss whilst we've been working together, which is absolutely fantastic. You're not a lady who was out of shape at all, so the rate of loss that you've had is phenomenal to see because the changes in your physique are really clear. What's not happened is that we've gotten kind of that skinny to the point where we've lost all of our muscle, etc. It's just been slow and steady, holding on to those beautiful glutes as you are getting leaner and showing off that beautiful shape as well, which I bet you can't wait to go on holiday in 6 weeks and show off your best physique yet, which is always nice to be able to keep yourself really wonderful, or feeling really wonderful, should I say. With your plan to obviously continue to lose into your holiday, it sounds amazing. What I would suggest is about a week or a week and a half before you do go away, try and bump yourself to more maintenance. So whatever weight you are at that point, try and bump up your calories, even just by like 250 calories, drop your expenditure down ever so slightly and see how you feel at that point with how your body maintains. Because if you go away on holiday off the back of being in a big deficit and then you start eating a lot more, drinking a lot more, etc., your body's not going to like it. So if you can give it a little bit of a maintenance and a little bit more of a chill time, likely when you go away you'll see that you're not overly hungry, so you're not trying to eat everything in sight, and B, you'll also feel way better with being able to not see a massive response from the body when you do start doing all of that. But just be mindful even when you're there, because you don't want to undo all the hard work. And we know that obviously overeating, it happens sometimes, maybe throughout the years, occasions, etc. But it doesn't have to be all the time to have a great time. The most important thing is you get a wonderful tan, enjoy a few drinks, enjoy a few meals with everybody, stay nice and active, and just be in the sunshine. As you've mentioned at the start of your check-in, the biggest thing for this week is having some lovely sunshine, which keeps us nice and motivated across this week. So let's use that. Hopefully the Leeds 10K went really well, and I'm hoping that you're feeling excited for more of that as you come through. Obviously, just try and navigate your training. The day before would probably be better as a rest day. The day after would definitely be better as a rest day. If that means that you miss one session for your week, don't worry about it, because you don't want to end up being totally battered from doing the 10K. But massive well done. It was great to have you aboard. Always welcome back if you do want to, and let me know if you've got any questions as you step forwards. I'm always here. You now have my number. I think the way in which we've been able to create a really lovely balance for you with obviously work, especially working night shifts, alongside still being able to train and have an amount of training that you can commit to, and then also having the foods and sleep set so that you're not getting the awful digestive issues that you were getting, managing to go to the toilet every single day, not feeling really rubbish even if you are working night shifts. I think it's always nice to know that there's things that you can utilize, or that there's things that you can do with your diet, with your kind of lifestyle, to help improve all of those things, to still be able to work, because that's what brings in the pennies and lets us do everything that we want to do, but also helps us feel good with training, feel good with our digestion, feel good with our sleep, feel a little bit low with stress, etc. And being able to build that relationship now where you've been able to actually say how you feel like you've never had that before is just great that you've been able to feel that way. So big massive ticks in the boxes. Obviously, yes, you want to continue to nail getting even leaner, but you seem to be feeling great. I mean, I don't think that you're the type of person that can't sit lean comfortably. I feel like you seem to be in a place where right now you've got your legs in. They are detailed with lines. You can see the glute tie-ins on the back of your legs. Your upper body is nice and lean to the point where you can see all the parts of your abdominals. Yes, you know that your lower tummy is the area that does hold on a little bit, but I think that's more so the digestion, and since we've sorted that out, that has changed massively. So great things. Let me know what your next steps are with everything. Let's take it from there, and I look forward to hopefully having a board, like you say, with the one-to-one coaching. So today is the last day of the first ever Empower, which has been the 12-week project that we've done with the guys and girls who aren't competitors, looking to improve their life, to improve their habits and actually fit healthy living into their lifestyle, because many people don't think that they can. They think that it's going to be a burden. They see it as something that's going to feel very hard, and lots of people don't like that. And yeah, for sure, when you make a change to your life, it's going to be different. It's going to feel difficult. You have to make time to be able to go and do some steps. You have to make time to maybe do a little bit of cardio, doing other forms of exercise. And I'm not saying just to train. People might want to do CrossFit. People might want to go and do badminton, etc. It doesn't have to be training, but healthy living and eating well and understanding calorie balance so that you can still have a meal out with your family, so that you can still have a drink if that's what you fancy. There's a way to be able to understand that and get knowledge around it so that you can do all of those things. And that's what we put the Empower in for, so that people can learn and understand how to do all those things and feel confident to be able to continue with that for the rest of their life. We've had people that have joined the 12 weeks and done incredibly well. We've got another Empower going on the 1st of July, and a few people from the current one have rejoined again because they've enjoyed the progress that they've made and they like the accountability that it creates. They don't want the strenuous or intensity, I guess, of full online one-to-one coaching, but more so just getting a plan that they can stick with, having some small little check-ins and accountability with that, rather than kind of the real nitty-gritty of one-to-one coaching. Some people have enjoyed it that much that they do want to do one-to-one coaching. So it's been a great and wonderful process, and I'm excited for many more to do to help people improve their health and fitness, because for me that's a huge win. I'd love for everybody to understand that they can eat well and not feel like they're missing out on things, I think is the word, and it can actually feel really good with it as well. Many women don't eat enough. Some people eat too much. Some people exercise a little bit too much, and some people don't exercise enough. So it's about finding that right balance and doing what's right for you based upon the way in which you want to look and the way in which you want to live life. And I'm not saying that you have to do it, because some people don't want to live that way and don't want to lead a healthy lifestyle, but it will always help you into the future if you can. But it is going to require a change, and to begin with that might not feel the greatest, but over time it will, if you can create it to be more habit-like. Right, I'm going to go and eat my breakfast. Talking about health and fitness, I need to stick to that because breakfast is a very important meal of the day that many people do skip. Back from my walk, back from the morning block, all client check-ins are done. Everybody that's competing is all sorted with, so now it's about eating my breakfast before I do some bulk cooking, and then obviously get back to some more work. My breakfast is always the same: eggs of some variety. As I'm in a diet, my bread isn't on a rest day, it is still here on a training day, it's just obviously a little bit less. If you want to diet and you want to lose a little bit of body weight, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that you are going to have to lose a little bit of calories, meaning that you will be a little bit more hungry. I actually feel pretty decent right now because my foods were quite high for quite long, that I was just ready for a little bit of a reset. So it actually feels quite nice to not have as much food. Obviously towards a comp prep or a longer diet, you're not going to feel as good as that. But if you want to make change and you want to win a competition, or you want to make changes to your physique, you do have to go through that uncomfortable feeling. I like to set up my day when it comes to having breakfast always. If you fast for a long time, especially as if you're a natural competitor, you'll actually find that your thyroid downregulates a little bit. So always make sure that you don't fast for too long, otherwise you're at risk of that happening. Obviously, if you're in a competition prep as a natty, likely your thyroid will downregulate anyway, given the fact that you are getting leaner, you are losing more foods, etc. So if you add into the mix fasting for a little bit too long, you will find that it will get worse as well. So then you'll also see the slowdown of your body weight, and you don't want that to happen. I'm going to do this and I'm going to make some foods. That's a source of kind of step in, because I'm in a diet. I've made way for a little bit less time a little bit more time with being able to step, just from having 10 minutes less in bed. I'll have an extra 10 minutes of walking, meaning that I get an extra like 1,000 steps, meaning that my expenditure is a little bit higher. Little things like that is what helps you to be able to achieve more step count, to be able to lose the body fat. I do go to bed about 10 minutes earlier to try and make up for the fact that I'm getting up a little bit earlier so that I can still get all of my work done and then still walk for a little bit longer as well. It's just about navigating and being okay with the fact that you do have to navigate at times to make things work. If you're someone that struggles to get your steps in or whatnot, when I used to work full time, I used to make sure I did a big bulk of steps in the morning when I first woke up. I also tried to make sure that if I was going to the food shop, I was parking the furthest parking space possible. Walk around the shop helps you to get steps in. Parking the furthest away from work so that you had to walk into work, meaning more steps. Little things like that, little tips like that, where you probably want to think, oh, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm feeling a little bit more or less energy. I'm going to park as close as I can to the shop door or to work, and I'm going to try and sit down a little bit more when I'm at work and lean up against things, etc. That's not going to help with fat loss, it's just going to make it worse. So you need to move more if you want to drop, unless you're on a deload, and then you obviously need to move a little bit less. But move more, be okay with the fact that you do have to do that and try and find ways to do it. If there's a will, there's a way, and you have to try and find ways to be able to do that. If you ever need any help, always feel free to hit me up with a message. So that was breakfast done, meal prep done, extra block of work done, all clients replied to, including all phone clips from yesterday. So now it's about some admin stuff. Obviously some little bits of client work will come in before the gym work, rinse and repeat. That is simply how the day rolls. Having clients all over the world, there's not really a cut-off time or a switch-off time, I guess. I do aim to make sure that last kind of 45 minutes prior to bedtime is spent off the phone. But if there are clients competing around the world, obviously that can't happen. So trying to keep at least that last 5 minutes pre-bed being routined, where I go and get myself in a hot shower. I don't like cold ones. And then I have my last meal and go to bed. It does the trick. I still manage to sleep really well, and that's not all the time, just obviously when clients are competing, which is most of the year, but not all around the world all year, so we get the job done regardless. Your first diet, and we're not going to talk about it from a competitive perspective, we'll talk about it from a first diet perspective ever, because if you're going into a competition prep, that should not be your first diet. Let's just set the tone there. Your first diet's not going to be very nice, likely because you don't really understand the process of feeling hungry. You might have actually come off the back of not being very consistent, so you might even end up not eating more, but just eating more frequently, and you don't really understand why you feel more hungry. I mean, a calorie deficit's not nice to be in, but essentially if you want to lose body weight, it is very simple. You have to eat a little bit less calories, you have to move a little bit more when it comes to steps, cardio, exercise, etc. And that is just the basics of dieting. And if things aren't moving, likely things either need to change, or maybe you need to look into, am I adding little things here and there that are potentially adding to my calories? Am I not really moving with intent when I'm supposed to be doing my steps or my exercise, or am I just kind of plodding along? Because it takes a little bit of work to get lean, especially that first time. And if you are making that change for the first time, especially if you've come from a place where you've been maybe an overeater, especially if you've been out of shape, it's a big lifestyle change. You are changing your habits a lot compared to what they were. So if things go a little bit wrong at some times, don't let it completely derail you. See it as, okay, that's a lesson. I've gone wrong. Let me learn from it. Let me move on from it. Let me not think about it anymore, and let me just crack on with the rest of my diet. Because little things in life, we learn from them. We'll take a step forwards, we'll take a step back. Sometimes we'll move forwards really well, sometimes we'll not. But the most important thing is that you don't obviously stop trying. But the first time you do diet, it will be very difficult. Or some people, it's not. Some people can actually get through dieting and be okay and come out relatively unscathed. But a lot of people, if it's a big lifestyle change, you will find that it's just different. Sometimes different will feel good, sometimes different will feel bad. Some weeks things will feel good. Sometimes things and weeks will feel bad, but don't give up. And if you are making and choosing to make a change, stick with it. Your body will thank you.
Damages your LDL in your bloodstream, and it's just doing its job of carrying fat. It's just a bystander. When your LDL gets oxidized, it's now unstable. So free radicals basically steal an electron off a substance, and now you've basically created a, best way to describe it, like a wibbly wobbly LDL.
Okay, time for gym time. I will show you my pre-workout meal. I'll not show you all my training because it'll be boring, but this is the new Train by JP launch for this time of the year. So hopefully you'll all get involved and get some lovely jubbly clothing as usual. Obviously, it is the most anabolic clothing, and if you do want to use my code, use code MEG10. So, how you set up your prep will be how it will follow, if that makes sense. So, if you come off the back of a very inconsistent off season, you'll find that the way in which your body can move will be a lot worse than if you were actually consistent. And maybe that's not to begin with, but towards the end of the prep at some point it will come and get you. And I promise you that, because I've been in a position where my off seasons haven't been as consistent, and then when they have, and the only thing that kind of falters off the back of it is that I don't see my body change as much as what I do when I'm super consistent. So if you want to set yourself up for a really great competition prep, be consistent in your off season. Doesn't mean you can't have balance with an off plan, just means that you have to be smart with keeping calorie balance. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. That was the end of legs. That's the second time that I've ever ran the squat in my rotation. Squat, second time, isn't it?
I've done it before, but
I'm not on the barbell really well, for like 3 sessions, and then we had enough. So we're just having post-workout. We always have it in the car. It's a little bit too loud in the gym. It's nice to train, but sometimes to eat you want a little bit more relaxed environment. Kuba's just had his lovely fish, and he's going to have his cream of rice from Train by JP, and he's going to use MEG10 at checkout. What do you think? So we managed 3 plates. I was actually really happy. I did feel a little bit wobbly, I'm not going to lie, but when you do a movement that's a big compound lift and it's not something that you feel completely, I guess the word's not comfortable, I think the word is confident with.
Safe. I think the skill still needs to develop. Skill.
Yeah, my skill definitely still needs to develop, which is crazy to see since I've been training and probably doing squats probably longer than I can remember from my life. But we still need to get better with the squats because I've not consistently done them, especially with the barbell. And it's a very hard movement, especially if you're not, I wouldn't say that I'm built for a squat. I'm definitely built for a deadlift, but we don't use that as an excuse not to get strong. So
just technique.
Just need to get it absolutely perfect. For me, which we will do. I think I might need to start using my elbow sleeves as well, because my elbows do get a little bit niggly when I do that. But 3 plates for 5 reps is actually pretty decent. I was very happy. So I'd love to see that move up to, over time, not right now, over time, up to 3.5, 4 plates. I think that that'd be a decent squat. So we'll look forward to getting better as we go. Right, we're going to eat post-workout. We'll wrap up fully when we get home. So see you then. So that is post-workout meal. Meal 5 done, work block done, and seen to the dog, wash the pots, put some washing out, etc. All those bits and bobs that we do when we get old. Life things, that's what we like to say. So, people often get a little bit frustrated when they do competition prep and their body weight doesn't move how they want it to, or they don't get as lean as they want it to. And there's a few little reasons as to why, and this is not me calling anyone out, but maybe so that you can understand it a little bit more from what is needed as a bodybuilder. Because if you want to get that extreme level of lean, and again, there are some people that are genetically gifted to do the sport that can do what they want and get lean, so it doesn't relate to everybody, but the majority of us it does. Like, I definitely didn't take things like my off seasons as, I'm not going to say seriously, but didn't realise the importance of being super locked in them when I first started my journey, and then that definitely reflected it with how hard my preps were and with the lesser condition that I did when I got on stage. So changing those things have really helped me. So if that's anything that I can give back to other people that are a little bit like me, that they're not a 1% genetic elite person, like, please take them and please run them with them. Know that I'm not saying it to have a go or to make you feel bad, but it is simply to understand what is needed to be a great bodybuilder and to make your prep great. So if you're choosing to do it, it's a financial thing that you're putting in, so why not just make the most of it? That's what I always think to myself. It's not something that you're going to do forever, so whilst you can do it, give it everything that you've got. Then when you take a step back, is there a need to not have as much balance? And no, there's not. You can definitely enjoy a little bit more balance and still look great. It is different compared to a competition prep, and the end of a competition prep is not sustainable, so not something that you can withhold for life. So that's one thing that we need to think about. Why are you struggling to lose weight, whether that be initially or a little bit further in your prep? You got a bit too fat in your off season. If you get too fat in your off season, you'll tend to find that you struggle to either lose it when you first initially start, or kind of midway to the end of it, you'll struggle to be able to get that last little bit that you need. You overeat often in your off seasons, maybe sometimes some people doing their preps as well, and that ruins your insulin sensitivity. If that happens again, you'll struggle to lose the weight that you want to and struggle to get into the condition that you want to as well. And I'm not saying that anything regarding bodybuilding ruins your insulin sensitivity. You're overeating or choosing to eat lots of heavily dense calorific meals is likely what is causing for that. The other things that you can do when you're in a competition prep to stop yourself from losing the weight is not moving as much as what you were or trying to save energy by stopping more. Essentially, to be able to drop body weight, you need to eat less and move more. So if you're trying to eat less and then move less, essentially you're putting yourself in a little bit more of a calorie maintenance rather than a deficit. Likely, yes. So don't be sitting down when you usually would be standing up. Don't be leaning onto something if you're supposed to be. If you are walking, walk with intention. Don't just plod. Literally walk with the mindset of, I want to get somewhere and I need to get there in an efficient way. And that will help you be able to move more. Same with your cardio, same with your training. Make sure you are getting to work when you are doing it, and that way you'll actually be able to lose the weight that you want. A poor mindset is also something that will stop you from achieving things that you want to do in prep. You have the mindset of, I'm going to get weak, I'm going to be hungry, I'm not going to be able to do my steps today, I feel really rubbish this morning, so today is going to be a really big drag. If you think those things, that will happen. If you can think positively, good things will happen. And I promise you, I woke up every single day when I did my Olympia prep. I didn't feel my best because I'd been in prep for a long time. I chose that. That is my choice. So nobody else is making me do that. That is my choice. And I was getting ready for the Olympia, something to be very honoured about. Kuba woke up every day and asked me if I was okay, even if I was feeling a little bit deathly, which everybody does towards the end of prep. I've been in condition for a very long time, so an extended end of prep feel. And I said, yeah, I feel great, thanks, how are you? And that type of mindset allowed me to be able to still achieve my greatest and leanest look even at the Olympia, when many people, when they've had that kind of condition earlier in the year, they struggle towards the end of the year to keep that. I didn't want that to be the case, and I wanted to bring my best up to the Olympia stage, and I had the mindset that that was going to happen, and I made that happen. So if you can have that, that'd be great. Poor sleep habits, not going to bed on time, scrolling on your phone, procrastinating prior to bedtime, in the mornings pressing the snooze alarm, etc., rather than getting up and getting after it. These types of things will create for you not to be able to lose weight. You want to make sure that you are adamant with your bedtimes so that you can keep your recovery on point. If you go to bed and not scroll on your phone, you won't need to press your snooze alarm. So those both work in conjunction. And the last thing, obviously, is not staying to plan. So if you overeat, if you have things away from your plan that aren't on there, hidden calories in like more sauces, more kind of fizzy drinks, more kind of little added extras of sweeteners, etc., like they tally up, things aren't calorie free. So even things like that, like you're not sticking to plan. So stick to plan. It's an extreme sport. You will be hungry, but you need to have the mindset that you can obviously get through that and achieve great things. So if your competition prep is not moving how you want to, those little things you can think about, implement them next time, and hopefully they will help you a lot.
As always, out of order signs, people do cheat aside. That's a pet
So that is the last meal, and we are ready for bed. Yes, it is still light outside. Yes, I am a grandma. I go to bed about 8:30, 9 o'clock, so I can be up nice and early, getting replied to all the clients, well, it's just the timings that work best, and managing it well with the timings for people like in Australia, etc. Obviously, when they're competing, I'm gonna have to do a night shift, so that'll be a good one. Did it with Kerry a couple of years ago anyway when she was in Japan, so it works well, and it's the job, so we've got to do what we've got to do. If I'm telling my clients that they need to be able to do their night shift work and day shift work, and I can't commit to that myself, then what type of coach am I? Right, I'm off to bed. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's video about dieting and understanding your thoughts, feelings, emotions, potentially why it's not moving in the direction that you want to, and hopefully it's things that you can learn from. If you ever have any questions, comment below. If you got this far, comment diet. Be back again for another video. Peace. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff.